Hi, I see some friendly faces in the crowd. It's always lovely to see. Hello, everyone. I'm Emmy Scott, and I am from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm 26 years old, and I have the honor of getting to say I'm the executive director of a 34-year-old nonprofit, a global nonprofit called Earth Guardians. We are powering youth-led climate solutions in over 40 countries, and I'm super thankful to be invited here today by Jason Seedall on the Roosevelt Initiative. We met a year ago at the Sun Valley Forum, and I don't think Jason knew it at the time, but it felt very serendipitous to me, as Theodore Roosevelt's story was someone who really moved me as a teenager. A story I particularly loved about Teddy was his work with Upton St. Clair, a young activist and novelist, 27 years old at the time. They had political differences, but despite those political differences and their age gap, Teddy didn't shy away from the truth that Upton brought to light. I also really admired how Teddy Roosevelt would get out of the boardroom and onto a trail. His love for adventure and discovery and the health benefits of connecting with nature reminded me a lot of my grandfather. My papa, who taught me the value of my health and my community by simply adventuring with me in nature. I grew up hiking, fishing, camping, and with core memories of my papa teaching me about the different cacti and lizards we see running across our paths. Without realizing it, my papa instilled in me the sense of belonging, pride, joy, and appreciation that comes with living in connection to nature, something that I believe Teddy felt deeply. However, that was in my adolescence, which at the time was more like a jaded memory when I became a teenager. By age 13 to 14, I realized that the places my grandpa and I had grew up loving to visit had changed drastically. Springs we used to drink from were too dried up or polluted to trust. Farms we used to frequent were now parking lots. And history, learning, was starting to feel more like a burden than the magic that it actually is. So if you could please allow me just a few moments to continue to sit with this feeling. This here is an image of Texas, and I don't want to spend too long harping on the truth because we all know it. Most of us are feeling it now every single day. It's the reason why we're here. Environmental conditions are worsening. Each year, heat waves are getting more intense. Flooding is becoming the newest trend in lawn decor. And fires in LA and hurricanes reaching the Safe Haven Mountains of North Carolina, it's mind-boggling, and it's also becoming more frequent. Young people are feeling the burden the most, with 76% of Gen Z feeling affected by climate change compared to 68% of our predecessors, leading to feelings of fear, anxiety, and shame that will affect generations. These stats from our partners at Global Scam and BBMG are proof, but we don't need them to know the truth. We're feeling it. I'm feeling it and living it every day, and perhaps you also can feel it in this moment, or you know a young person. And as we spend these last few moments sitting here with this heavy feeling, I would like to invite you to think about, what would you do if you were my age? What would you want to happen? Who would you want to help? If you're thinking, we're cooked, I trust that this sentiment is something that we share across generations, but I don't want to let this feeling consume us. But not to ignore it either, as this is how we know where to invest our resources, where to invest our time. These feelings are how our young leaders, the future, are feeling. And it's almost paralyzing, isn't it? The biggest shame of it all is that Gen Z is said to be one of the largest generations, with evidence of our influence in culture, politics, and the economy. Our influx of knowledge has positioned us to be one of the most caring generations, as the last slide showed, which is leading to this type of paralysis, this limiting belief that we won't be able to contribute. The true loss in all of this is a generation with the sheer numbers and the magnitude to really move the needle on the climate movement and health for humanity globally, left feeling unable to lead change, and even worse, left feeling unable to lead at all. Yet, that's not our story here. At least it's just one side of it. As climate change intensifies and my generation's capacity for resilience is threatened, it is the problem of our lifetimes, and therefore it is the lifetime, an opportunity of a lifetime as well. Because two things can be true. Even with these heavy feelings, which you can see in this stat here, hope is higher than ever. And I can say that with confidence because I also feel that every single day. And I'm so grateful to be an Earth Guardian. Because at 17, when I entered school at the University of Northern Colorado, in my spare time, I was also a program participant in Earth Guardians Cruise. Earth Guardians taught me how to transform my jaded energy into accessible leadership. And for the first time in a very long time, since that feeling that I had when I was a kid with my grandpa in nature, I felt like I truly belonged somewhere. I belonged as an Earth Guardian with my hands in the dirt, making solutions happen. Back then, and in times like these, Earth Guardians gives me purpose and turns my anxiety into action. Our flagship programs, our cruise, and our Indigenous Youth Initiative bridge gaps across generations, countries, and climate challenges to unify the movement and center youth leadership. With training, project grants, campaigns, and community building, we resource and connect young leaders under 30 to a regional mentor and our wider community of peers and seasoned youth, aka adults just like you. We do that so that they can lead climate solutions in their localities. Why? Because we're leveraging the opportunity of Gen Z and Alpha in the arena, and it's working. Young leaders like me catalyze our resources, stretching our impact way farther than we could do alone. And I like to think that I'm a pretty good example of Earth Guardian's mission and embodiment of what we do, but there are even better examples than me, luckily, so I don't always have to talk about myself all the time. A young crew leader in Sierra Leone, they planted over 150,000 mangroves last year. That is the bulk of our collective 193,000 trees planted total by Earth Guardians in 2024 to 2025. A single year, 193,000 trees planted. And this was one crew who planted 150,000 mangroves in Sierra Leone to contribute to reforestation. But it wasn't just to contribute to reforestation. They also established 300 beehives and trained the community members in regenerative honey production to welcome the community into the circular economy for the first time. They're spreading education on why honey production is better than deforestation in the long run. And we also have, here are more pictures of them in their bee suits. We also have a crew in Brazil that is leading 200 plus community members in establishing pollinator-friendly community gardens. These young leaders work with all ages to strengthen their intergenerational muscle, but they're particularly focused on students even younger than them. So a young student teaching younger students that you can see here in this picture. But Earth Guardians, we're doing work like this all over the world. In India, another crew maintained 20 rooftop gardens to support local senior citizen homes. My Indigenous Youth Initiative director in this picture here, he's a Yale graduate and a farmer who provides traditional ecological knowledge to a cohort of 20 young leaders every single year. These leaders come from tribal nations across North America. And at the training, we prepare and resource them to start measurable regenerative projects in their communities. I even was inspired this year by our Indigenous Youth Initiative to start a small garden in my own backyard. Another one of our crews, and I do apologize for this pronunciation, it's Earth Guardians Yili Ili. Sorry, the name that they chose for the Earth Guardians crews, hard for me to pronounce, and I do apologize for that. But they're dedicated to helping the country champion clean energy development. Their project in 2025 provided solar power to their local women's health center. It led students in a friendly debate competition on energy and sustainability, and then it awarded all of the students solar that they could take home. One student says, "Before receiving the solar lamp, I could only study during the day, which made it hard for me to keep up with my homework. Now, I can study in the evenings and better prepare for my exams. Thank you for giving me the light to achieve my dreams." And this is my why. Why I can confidently say that there is hope and a great opportunity for all of us. And this is really just a taste of what we do here at Earth Guardians. Our current 1,225 and growing young leaders can and are making a difference. Imagine a world where that's doubled. That's the opportunity that we'd like to invite you all in this room to be a part of. At Earth Guardians, we're creating belonging and access to traditional ecological knowledge so that way students can share in their responsibility of contributing to the climate change contributing to climate solutions and be exemplary leaders for their communities. That's how we're getting Gen Z in the arena. I call that the base strategy: belonging, access, shared responsibilities, and examples. The grace is that the solutions are abundant. The challenge that we have for ourselves is to not get stuck in paralysis either. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Don't rely on Gen Z to be the ones to do it all. And also, don't do it alone. Let's do it together and lead by example, like Teddy and Upton St. Clair did. This time has never been better, and Earth Guardians has honestly never made it easier for you to resource the next gen in the arena. We can double our impact with your investment, and I'm not just asking on behalf of Earth Guardians. I'm asking for a whole generation. Make a commitment to yourself, to your community, to your kids, maybe to your local neighbors. Heck, make a commitment to the person sitting right next to you right now. Make a commitment to me standing here in front of you. There's no better time than right now. And the only way that we're going to get there, the only way we're going to turn this challenge into the true opportunity that it is people like you believing and investing in people like me. And I believe, I trust we'll get there. Thank you.